Hello and welcome back everyone. We're going to post this video, or we have posted this video right at the end of the series, if you will, that we've dealt with soul agreements
and soul contracts.
And soul contracts. Yeah. It just goes to show that in the 2 years that we've been doing this now, even Mario and I still slip up when we're using our words. And although we have made a mistake, we haven't.
No.
Because this had to happen this way, so that we could finish this series with a beautiful example of soul contracts and soul agreements. Let's take a look at that word, contracts.
Sometimes it's maybe a little bit nasty.
Sometimes, yeah, you have to sign a contract because you owe money or whatever, but you've got to make an agreement that you might not be willing or wanting to sign a contract. You've no free will. It takes your choice away. Of course, that's one part of duality. There is another way, of course, of looking at contracts.
Yes.
For instance, footballers. Your great, NFL, I believe, and then the basketball players. They
sign a contract.
They all sign contracts. Why do they sign those contracts?
Because they are assured of an income.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
Joy.
Well, they're pretty safe. They've got their little nest built around them, safety. And they're pretty safe.
Yes.
Yeah. So you see, a contract really does define duality.
Mm-hmm.
And although we hadn't really realized that as we were working through these materials, we realize now that it was a perfect mistake. Because occasionally we have used soul agreements. Now feel those two words, a contract, an agreement. An agreement feels a lot freer, doesn't it? There's much more freedom in that word.
It's freedom. It's the way you feel the word contract.
Also too.
And it's the way you feel agreement.
An agreement is something that you'd agree to.
Yes.
A contract is not something that you'd always want to agree to.
Yes.
So, see, here's a beautiful example. Again, although we have made this mistake, contracts, soul contracts and soul agreements, remember you do have free will to a certain extent here on planet Earth. So they would be seen more as soul agreements because we have free will choice. And even though maybe you're not conscious of all of these agreements that you came in with, but it's not all written in stone.
No.
While you're here, you're, if you will, fallen through the veils into a lower vibrational level. And we've forgotten all of these agreements. So many of us have forgotten those agreements. That's why so many are still not consciously awake. But what we're starting to realize now is that yes, in this free will choice that we have, we can either choose to feel the agreements that we came here to fulfill for the soul's expansion, or we can choose to take a detour, or we can choose to build a wall. We have that choice. So although, yes, we did make a little bit of a mistake with these two words, what we've actually done here is we put, Ian and Mario's growth right in front of you there, open, bare, so that you can see, even we are still going through all of these processes, just like you guys are. We're no different to you. Well, we might be a little bit ahead because of all of the information that we've been getting, but we are still no different because we are going through it all, just like everybody else. And now we've realized that, yes, soul agreements is a much better feeling word.
Yes.
And it does leave the choice up to you, what you want to do. I'm pretty sure that you really would prefer to have heaven on earth. I would. Yeah.
Me too.
The video that we just talked about, Anastasia, living in a world of being able to sustain yourself, to heal yourself through nature, actually not even experience illness anymore. Goodness gracious, wouldn't that be just beautiful? But you see folks, we're moving into a phase of our evolutionary process that we are indeed starting to learn to choose whether we work with contracts
or agreements.
Or agreements. I know what I like.
Agreements.
Agreements, most definitely, yeah. So if we can agree with you all that you start looking differently at your words, be more conscious of your words. And remember, folks, it's not about making mistakes. Goodness gracious, that's old ego BS. It's about learning. It's about a learning process. It's about a growth process. Now, yeah, we use contracts. Okay, we hadn't seen it at that moment, but are we judging ourselves? Are we pissed off with ourselves? Are we mad at ourselves? No. We're grateful because we realized we were, if you will, sticking to duality energy instead of moving into freedom energy. And we don't mind sharing that with you because we've grown. And if that helps you a little bit to grow in using and choosing your words, well, that makes our hearts sing.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to this one?
No.
I think this was a pretty good one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, even though we did make a boo-boo.
A boo-boo?
A boo-boo is a mistake.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for listening again, folks.
Namaste.
Namaste.